Hello and welcome, it's the Crocheteer here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a miniature dolphin. This dolphin is quick and easy to make and can be turned into a keyring or used just as a decoration or gift. So let's get on with the tutorial. For this tutorial we're going to be using white wool, some pale grey wool. You'll also need a strand of black wool for the eyes if you choose to use wool, but you can use the buttons or whatever you choose for the eyes. I'll be using a 3mm crochet hook, and you will need a pair of scissors and a little bit of stuffing. So if you enjoy this tutorial, please leave a like and subscribe for more free and easy patterns just like this. So, to start off, we're going to use our grey wool. And we're going to tie a slip knot. Now we're going to do 2 chains. Now we're going to do 6 single crochets into the first chain. So not the one nearest the hook, but the first chain we did. And we're going to do 6 single crochets into that one chain, meaning we end up with a circle. Now we've done our 6 single crochets, we're going to start the next row. So for the next row, we're going to go into the next stitch across. So this was the first single crochet we did, and we're just going to do 1 single crochet into that stitch, but we want to increase it, so now we're going to do another single crochet into the same stitch. Now we're going to increase all the other 5 stitches. So again, you do 2 single crochets into the same stitch, turning that stitch from 1 into 2. Once you've done that, you should have 12 stitches around the circle. So yeah, that's 12 stitches on the round. So now we're still increasing for the circle, but we only want to increase 6 times. So we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to do an increase into the next stitch. We're going to repeat the last 2 stitches until we get back to the beginning, so another 5 times. So we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then an increased stitch into the next. Going to do a single crochet, and then an increase in the next stitch. Now we're going to do another single crochet and an increase, and that's 4 out of the 6. Do another single crochet and an increase, and finally a single crochet and an increase. Now you should have 18 stitches around the circle. So that is the top of the whale, the dolphin I mean, that is the top of the dolphin complete. Now we're just going to give it some depth. So to do this, we're going to do 2 rows. So I'm going to use the black wool I have, which I'm going to use for the eyes as well, but I'm just going to use it as a marker wool at the moment, so I'm just going to pop it underneath where the wool and the crochet meet, and then start the 2 rows of single crochet. If you prefer to count, that would be 36 stitches, 2 rows of 18. Now we're going to turn it inside out, so I've done 1 of my 2 rows. I'm going to turn it inside out so we get the nice smooth side facing outwards as opposed to the much rougher and messier side. Now I've done my first row, I'm going to pop this wool back around and under and do the next 18 stitches. And that is the 2 rows complete. So now we're going to start on the white underside of the dolphin. So if you grab the white wool, just going to get the wool from that, and now you can see I haven't pulled the grey wool through the 2 loops of the last stitch. So if I was doing a normal single crochet, I'd then pull this wool through the 2 loops, finishing the stitch. Instead, I'm going to pull a loop of white wool through the 2 loops, which makes the colour changing much neater. So now I'm going to do 2 rows of white. So I'm going to carry on with my marker, pull that through, and do my next 18 stitches in white this time. So that's the first of the 2 white rows. Now I'm going to put the marker wool back through and then do the second white row. So this is the next 18 stitches. And there we've done the second row of white. So at this point I'm going to pull the marker wool out. Won't be needing that anymore until we make the eyes. So now we're going to do the opposite of what we did at the top to finish off the ball, which is what we're making for the body. So we're going to do one single crochet, and then we're going to do a decrease. So to decrease, you insert the hook under the stitch, pull a loop through, and then you insert the hook into the next stitch and pull another loop through, leaving you with 3 loops on the hook. You then pull the wool through all 3 of the loops. That's a decrease stitch, turning 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Then we're going to do another single crochet and then another decrease, and then another single crochet and another decrease, and we're going to repeat it 3 more times. So another single crochet and another decrease, another single crochet and decrease, and then the last single crochet and a decrease. There we go. So now you should be able to see that the ball is starting to get smaller. You should have 12 stitches around the edge at this point. So this is when we stuff the whale before we close it. I keep calling it a whale, it's a dolphin. I'm going to stuff the dolphin. So grab the stuffing, make sure it's not lumpy, just pull it around a bit, make it nice and evenly soft, I guess. And then we're going to cut this grey wool. You won't be needing that anymore. Cut it nice and short, and then just let it get lost in there, and push the stuffing in. It's your choice how much you stuff it. I wouldn't stuff it too much, but obviously you don't want it going flat, so there we go. Now mine is decently stuffed but still squishy. So for this dolphin, we're going to close the bottom. We're going to do a decrease and then another decrease. We're just going to basically decrease every stitch until we get back to the beginning of the row. So that should be 6 decreases. Here's my 3rd decrease, my 4th decrease, my 5th, and 6th. And there we have the body complete. So now we're going to cut this white wool. Again, you don't have to cut it long at all. And we're just going to pull the white wool through the loop we have. Now I am just going to wrap it around the other side of the circle a few times, just to sew it up. And then pull it into the body, and it can disappear. And there we go. Then if your circle is very circular, the great thing about crochet is you can just squish it and mold it until it's an oval, basically, and that will serve as the dolphin's body. So from here on out, it's really easy. Going to make the flippers for the dolphin now. So to do this, we're going to find the sides of the dolphin. So going from the top, I've put my oval that way. So the oval is longer in this direction and shorter in this direction. So I'm now going to line my crochet hook across the top, and I can see that one of my flippers is going to go on this side and one will go on the other side. So just bring my hook down and put it in here. Now it doesn't matter for the first one, because if you put it in the wrong place you can just squish the ball into a different oval. But generally speaking, you see here, this is where we change colours. You can see there's a slight dip into the grey. You want that at the back generally, so if you can, have that at the back and then the flipper at the side. So I'm going to pull a loop of grey wool through. So yeah, just insert your hook behind one of the stitches and pull a loop of grey wool through. Now we're going to do 5 chains. And then we're going to slip stitch back into the same hole which we started the flipper from. That gives us one of the flippers. So cut the wool, just pull the wool through, pull it tight, pull the other one tight. You can always knot these if you wish. That just makes it super strong. And then pull that wool into the body. Now this is where it's crucial you get it right. You want this flipper to be equal on the other side. So I'm going to line my crochet hook across again and just drag it down to this side. Then I'm going to put my hook in where the grey meets the white. So now we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to pull a loop of grey wool through and we're going to do 5 chains. And then we're going to slip stitch back into the hole we started the chains from. I'm going to cut the wool, pull it through, tie it once or twice if you wish, and then pull those strands in. So now you can see the dolphin's 2 flippers. Now, going to the side where the white wool dips into the grey wool, this is the back, so we're going to do the tail. We're going to insert our hook around the last grey stitch. So you can see the white coming through there because we pulled the white through the grey, but we're going through the back of the grey stitch. It doesn't matter where you go through really, this will get you the neatest finish, but if you do go on to the left or the right or above or below, it doesn't matter. So now we're going to pull a loop of wool through. Now to get the fork in the tail, we're going to single crochet, no we're not, we're going to chain. To get the fork in the tail, we're going to chain 4. We're now going to slip stitch back 2, so missing out the first stitch next to the chain, and then slip stitch back down 2 of the chains. So you should have 1 left between the crochet hook and the body. We're now going to do 3 more chains, and we're going to slip stitch back down 2 of those chains. So remember, don't go into the one next to the hook. And now it gets a little bit fiddly. We're going to slip stitch into the second original chain just to join them together, then back into the first chain which we left, and then we're going to slip stitch back into the hole we started the tail from. that should give you the forked tail. So once again we're going to cut the wool. I didn't leave much string here, so I'm just going to pull the wool into the body. And now we just have the mouth to do, and the eyes, but they are not really crocheting. So, going to grab our grey wool once again, and we're going to go straight back from the tail. Going to run our hook up around the body in a straight line to find the front. I'm going to insert the hook where the grey meets the white at the front of the dolphin. We're going to pull a loop of grey wool through, and we are going to chain 4. Do 4 chains, and then we're going to slip stitch back 3, so missing out the one which is close to the hook. We're going to slip stitch back down 3 of the chains. That should take you back to the body, and then you slip stitch back into the hole we started chaining from on the body. Now we cut the wool, pull the wool through, and then pull the tailing ends into the body. And there we have the finished dolphin almost. So as I say, the crochet part has now been all done. You can see both of them together. And we're going to do the eyes. So where you put the eyes is your choice. You don't have to put them where I'm saying if you don't want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to count a few stitches from the middle. So here's the middle. And I'm going to go 1 row above where the white starts in here. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. I think I'm just going to go 2. I'm going to insert the hook between the last 2 grey rows, and then have it come out just 1 stitch after. Then going to pull a loop of black wool through, and wrap this black wool around the eye 3 times. There's one eye, so now I'm going to pull the shorter bit of black into the body. So, getting this bit of wool, we're going to go to the other side where we want the eye to go. And then we're going to have the hook come out next to the other eye, because we're going to pull this strand of wool through. If you use 2 smaller bits of strands, you just pull it through like we did for the other eye. Now we're going to wrap this bit of black wool around 3 times like we did with the other eye. Now sometimes with eyes, even if you wrap them around the same amount of times, they still look different. That's just how it is. So if they look the same, when one has 2 wraps and one has 3, don't worry, it doesn't matter. So there's the completed dolphin. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more free and easy patterns, and enjoy the dolphin. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.